Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for game number 5, the 5th and deciding game of this fourth place match. Who wants it the most? Who wants that third place position in the first TLS with $50 prize? Is it eOnzErG or Skzlime?
Well, yeah, it's about to be decided, but it looks like Skzlime might have figured eOnzErG out a little bit. So eOnzErG is going to have to be a little bit cutting on this one. The map is, of course, going to be Fighting Spirit. That old classic. Everyone knows Fighting Spirit. If you don't know Fighting Spirit by now, then you should get on ladder and you will know it within 10 games. You will have played 9 games on this map, at least. So what better map for these guys to finish it on, really, where they can both be 100% practice and really know what's going on. But yeah, it's going to be curious. I'm waiting to see if eOnzErG is going to break out something a bit different, because I think actually he may need to.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Skzlime's kind of figured out that sweet spot where he can attack eOnzErG and kind of and just go for the kill, as I was saying at the end of last game. But it's still very narrow. I mean, Skzlime, when it happens, Skzlime's still taking pretty massive damage, and, the defilers are always just a few seconds slow. If eOnzErG just somehow squeezes them out, 20 seconds earlier, he can hold the third, and he can basically just shut down everything. And if he does hold the third, then Skzlime's basically dead because he's got no natural anymore. So it's still very, very close. I'm not sure if eOnzErG necessarily wants to just completely change his game plan, especially at this late stage in the in the series, or if he's just gonna make some minor adjustments and maybe try and tweak the timing a little bit to make it work. I think that'll be a lot safer to do. I'm not sure if he's even able to figure that out.
Yeah, I see your point about not necessarily changing your game plan on the fly. It can be a little bit dodgy, rather than just kind of tweaking what you're prepared to go for something completely different, because then you can be playing so far out of your comfort zone that it just ends up looking pretty horrible. So yeah, I think what you're saying might actually be pretty well founded. And eOnzErG will probably have that in his mind as well. So I think you're going to be right. We're going to see something similar coming out of him. But it's going to be curious, and this really is at the death. And just on a side note, how many final ace matches have we seen throughout this tournament? It hasn't been many, has it?
This is the first one, Elegant.
This is the first one.
First time seeing the 5th game since the round of 8 when we started going for best of 5 series. This is the very first one. Every other series has been a 3-0 or a 3-1. That's why I'm so pumped.
Exciting stuff. So I'm ready to go into it if you are.
I am indeed. Let us not babble on. Here we go.
Let's do it.
And here we are in the 5th and final game of this 3rd place match. At the top right, as the orange Zerg, we have IFU eOnzErG. And at the bottom right, as the yellow Terran, rising from the grave, SAS Skzlime.
Yep. And I'm taking my opportunity to say this for the first time in the tournament. No matter what happens in this game, one of these guys is going to emerge the victor of the series. Because this is an ace match, and this is the first time we've seen it. This is so cool. And Skzlime could actually do the reverse sweep here, which would be a very, very exciting result indeed. But let's see what both these guys break out in the early game. Of course, it's an ace match, so anything can happen, ranging from cheese to standard stuff. But it really does it becomes such an unknown quantity, because you never quite know where players' confidences really lie and what kind of mind games they're going to be playing. It looks like nothing too crazy going to be going down as of yet. Skzlime just throwing down a supply depot next to his command center, and eOnzErG going for an overlord as well. So it looks like these guys both going to be very, very normal going into this final match.
Yeah, I think at least my impression is that on the whole, players go for more standard games when it does come down to the final game. I don't think you see cheeses in these situations very, very often. Of course, that's why when they do happen, they're kind of notable exceptions. The one that immediately springs to mind is when MVP won his GSL against, I think, Squirtle or something. I know that's an SC2 reference. I'm sure a lot of people in the chat still get it though. But that was a pretty crazy game where basically he proxy raxed, he BBS'd all in like game 7 of a best of 7. And took it down. So that was pretty crazy. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, so the map, again, as you said, is Fighting Spirit, and everybody knows it, and that's kind of, I think, the reason why it is chosen as the last map here in all the series. just to make sure that we have the players know the map. It's not some kind of, we don't have a situation where one player loses in a silly fashion because they didn't know about some artifact or something like that. I mean, most of the maps here are pretty normal, barring, I guess, Electric Circuit, so that generally won't happen. But I'm sure both these players have played countless games on this map. As you said,
absolutely.
If you play on Fish, like the Korean server, which is where you generally get the best practice, it's basically 99.9% played on this map. The Koreans love this map, so yeah, these guys are going to have a ton of experience.
Yeah, no, there's absolutely no doubt about it. I mean, they will have seen this map a million different times. For some reason, I'm doubly aware of map doodads today. And so in eOnzErG's Natural, I'm seeing that kind of weird skeleton in the cliff. Sorry, go on.
Oh, it's there as well!
Yep.
The Hydra with the laser cannon!
But over at eOnzErG's Natural as well, what's that skeleton in the cliffside just where the Overlord's gone past?
The what?
Is it a lurker?
What skeleton? What are you talking about?
Like, there's a fossil in the cliffside. You see the Overlord at the Natural. No, not in eOnzErG's Natural, rather. Skzlime's Natural.
Oh, Skzlime's Natural.
Right beneath the Overlord.
Under the Overlord.
Yeah, what is that?
It's a dead Hydra fossil, isn't it? That's definitely a Hydra.
Is that a Hydra? No, because it's got 4 legs. Look, it's got legs.
What are you talking about? It doesn't have 4 legs.
It does! Oh my god, it does.
What?
I think it has legs.
It's got like the claw coming out the right side and like the tail on the left side.
Is that a Hydra?
Look at the shape of the skull. It's definitely a Hydra.
This is Brood War archaeology, guys.
Dude, somebody call Indiana Jones.
This is actual
I'm sure
Brood War. We're going to see a guy with
us.
a whip wandering on the screen. That's just going to trick me out like crazy. It looks like eOnzErG's going to deny the SCVs count. This time eOnzErG making up a 3rd hatchery
Oh my goodness.
before he goes to attack. So it looks like he is varying the formula as we thought he might do.
Yep, Skzlime on the other hand is doing exactly what he's been doing, going for the 1 Rex expand into the 2nd Rex into gas, presumably then followed by Academy and Engineering Bay. But yes, this is going to be very interesting. So, I mean, this going for 3-hatch Muta is, of course, it used to be more common than 2-hatch Muta, but I've been seeing a lot of 2-hatch Muta nowadays, so I'm not actually sure anymore. But yes, this is kind of the more economic way to open with Mutalisks. Instead of getting 6 Mutas, you can get a nice timing where you get 9 Mutas out, but of course the Terran obviously has more time to prepare as well, so kind of it's less about pressuring with the Muta as it is about kind of just keeping the Terran back in his base while you take a 3rd. It basically is just a means of delaying the Terran while you get your 3rd, so you don't actually necessarily need to do that much damage, or even if you don't do any damage, I think it's still okay as long as you get your Lurker Tech and your Hive Tech and your 3rd base up in time.
Yep. Yeah, that's definitely true. And I think it's going to be interesting the way this works out for eOnzErG, because his Muta Harass has been good, but he hasn't been good at preventing the Terran from really getting across the map, and that's what's going to be crucial in this situation. He hasn't been good at delaying. It seems like once the Terran gets out, he can often be landed in a pretty severe amount of trouble, and that's what really counts when you're doing this build. So I think this is maybe I'm a little bit scared to see how this works for eOnzErG, actually, given the way the previous games have gone.
Yeah, it's going to be curious. I mean, I hope Skzlime doesn't rely too much on that sick timing that he's figured out, because that's obviously not going to work here. But I'm sure that once he scans the base and he kind of figures out what's going on, it'll be fine. By the way, I'm a little bit distracted because apparently there's a poll going on, presumably in the live report thread, about whether this little fossil thing is in fact a Hydralisk or a Lurker. It seems that the majority of people think it's a Hydralisk, but I have just been informed that our good friend Sir Jolt, the noble Sir Jolt, thinks it's a Lurker. So your opinions are now invalid.
Yeah,
and
your
it is a
opinions.
Lurker. We're declaring that right now.
Yeah, thank you, Sir Jolt. Sir Jolt on my side. We've got each other's backs. I like that guy, and his word is law. So yeah, it's a Lurker. The hammer has fallen on that. I was right all along. And we have Scan going down. Has Skzlime seen the top left? Oh, he'll know the top left-hand corner is there. I'm trying to figure out where that Scan went down. He should know everything that he needs to know. The Spire is not too far from done right now. But Skzlime's going to have a little bit of a timing to move out right here, but this isn't too far from normal, and eOnzErG should be able to pop out enough mutas in time to deal with this.
Yeah, the mutas, are they building yet? Not quite. Where's the Spire at? Wait, where's it? Oh, there it is. Jeez, I was like, oh my god, did he forget the Spire? No, I just couldn't find it. The Spire's about to finish here, so the mutas should be on the way before the Marines come. Of course, he does need to build these Sunkens for safety, but, even if Skzlime tries to bust, the mutas should kind of pop out as the Marines are attacking the Sunkens, which is kind of not what he wants at all, so I don't think he should actually go for this. He might still try. The mutas are a little ways off here. This is actually going to be very, very tight if he does go for it. Looks like he might try and go for the Overlord first. No, he is going to back up. Yeah, I was saying that. This timing is way too tight. If he does get caught attacking these Sunkens while the mutas pop out, you can just instantly lose the entire Marine force. So I think it is definitely better to keep us back, especially since he's only got 2 barracks behind.
Yeah, and it's also important that even if you were to break, then you kind of have to get those Marines back nice and early, or they will get caught and they will die to the mutas. They have to be pretty much home by the time those mutas are out, otherwise they'll get picked off on the way home. It'll just end badly for them. So I think Skzlime definitely making the right choice and pulling back, and he should be fairly safe in his natural right now with a decent number of Marines and missile turrets to back up.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at his natural. He's only got a couple here, and they're actually messing up his gas significantly. Although he get, when you go for bio, gas isn't the most important thing. Although at this early stage, you still don't want that to be messed up. But especially actually since Skzlime does like to go for that fast starport, he's actually got it already. But you can see he's got a bit of gas back, so it's not the end of the world. Meanwhile, this third base is just now finished. Going to go for that third gas. He's going to be able to. eOnzErG's going to be able to park a couple of lurkers here at the top of the ramp and defend that just quickly. I mean, it's looking like a very nice standard game so far, Elgin.
It is indeed. What is it with people screwing up their gas today? This is really, really weird. People just kind of slightly mannering themselves a little bit, but no big deal. Yeah, it's looking like it's playing out very, very, very standard. Once again, we only have 2 barracks working so far from Skzlime, but it looks like it's going to be absolutely safe nonetheless. His Marine count is good. He's making quite a lot of turrets, which I wouldn't necessarily expect against a more economy-orientated kind of build from eOnzErG player, but nonetheless, I don't think he's overspending too drastically, and we do have eOnzErG with a pretty hefty number of mutas as well, so I suppose it's justified if eOnzErG were to really want to go into the main, he'd have a pretty difficult time doing so. Meanwhile, Skzlime... Sorry, go on.
No, the mutas just went for a really weird dash at the natural and took a lot of damage. I agree. I think this is slightly overreacting. He's got 4 in his main. You really don't need 4 there. You know, against a 3-hatch muta, you should be okay. Maybe he's slightly scared because he only had the 2 barracks for a while. He actually still only has the 2 barracks now that I look at it. But I feel like it's definitely slightly overreacting there. And will kind of put him behind a little bit, but obviously not too significantly. The positioning here at the natural is a bit curious. It's giving eOnzErG a slight opening here behind the minerals actually to move in. Oh my god, he stopped looking at the mutas! He stopped paying attention! Taking a ton of damage. I don't know what happened there. He must have gone back to macro or something and forgot to put them on a hold position or something. And just let them take a ton of damage, but he's still doing a lot of damage. Look at how low the SCV count is here at the natural. He's really, really low actually. So really doing good damage with these.
Yeah, it's pretty much rock bottom right now. I mean, that was really weird. How do you kind of lose track of your mutas micro in the middle of it? You kind of do an attack and then you're like, oh, just go home and do something. It's very, very odd mistake right there from eOnzErG. But once again, it looks like he's not taking too much damage to the mutas to make it not worthwhile. He's managed to do plenty of damage to the SCV count. Once again, he's got that 10 supply lead, which we saw in I believe game 1, which was eventually, of course, going to eOnzErG. Oh, but taking a lot of unnecessary hits out to the mutas, but still managing to keep the SCV count way, way low in the natural, and having to transfer more SCVs in from the main as well. Skzlime's looking a little bit thin, and he's not producing any more SCVs either. So what's he building up to right here? It looks like it's going to be a big push attempt from him.
Yeah, he's going to move out, but lurkers are already out. It looks like he might want to move out quickly so that they don't get positioned outside his natural, although he's got to be a little bit careful. He does have 3 siege tanks, so he's not going to be too concerned about just a couple of lurkers so far, but he's just going to have to wait for that vessel. And there's the first vessel. This is the signal to move out, and there we go. The tank's leading off. Going to start taking down these lurkers. They need to move back, though. They do outrange lurkers. You do not want to be taking free lurker shots. Oh, the vessel goes down. Crucial snipe by eOnzErG. Very, very well done. Doesn't suicide the mutas this time and gets the vessel.
Yeah, ouch. That really, really hurts for Skzlime. He saw it, but he saw it too late. The vessel, of course, does have an acceleration time. He tried to move it back, but it was to no avail. And once again, eOnzErG looks like he's going to go in. He might be able to snipe off these siege tanks. Holy hell, that's a really big deal if he manages to get both of those. Manages to get one of those. But this is leaving Skzlime in a little bit of a weaker position. He needs to make sure those siege tanks stay alive. He needs to be a lot more careful with them. He's already lost his science vessel. He cannot afford to lose too much more of the expensive units within this push, or he's gonna really miss his timing completely. eOnzErG is looking much more stable this game than he has in recent matches.
He's getting cloak. Why is he getting cloak? He's just assuming that Guardians are coming. Are Guardians coming? Is he getting? They are coming. He is getting a great Aspire. He's like blind countering the Guardian switch, which is actually really smart because it's very standard on Fighting Spirit to do this. I mean, basically any map where you got a good attackable natural like this is good for Guardians. So he's basically just blind countering the Guardians. This is so crazy. I can't believe it.
Stand down on the Spire. I mean, blind count would be cool, but I don't know if it's possible. Maybe he's just
Dude, this is the guy who blind 2-axed in base against South Park. I can definitely see Skzlime doing that. It's so good. And it's not like overly expensive. I mean, it costs you a bit of gas, but you might as well, man. And look at this, he's just pumping 2-port wraiths now. He's pumping 2-port wraiths. These Guardians are gonna morph, and there's gonna be like 5 or 7 cloaked wraiths just instantly pounce on them. Oh man, this is gonna be beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
That is awesome. Yeah,
he's got a
Skyline's
crazy...
completely got that call. These Guardians are going to do nothing. That's so expensive for eOnzErG right now. Meanwhile, the Natural is starting to be sieged down. Do we have Consume up and ready yet? We do not have Consume up and ready yet, so the Siege Tank is going to be able to do a good amount of damage before Consume is actually done. That Science Vessel's getting way ahead of itself. There are Scourge flying around. They could find that Science Vessel if they just move forward a little bit.
And the Wraiths come out! The Wraiths are killing all the Guardians! By the way, Skyline said he scanned it, apparently in the chat, but oh man, the Cloak Wraiths, they're killing everything here. There's a Dark Swarm though at the front. He might kill a bunch of the Siege Tanks. The Siege Tanks are going to pull back, but these Guardians have done nothing. The Scourge can do nothing. There are Scourge there, but they can't kill anything. There's a Devourer, but he cannot see the Cloak Wraiths. All the Guardians are just getting picked off for free right now. This is huge for Skyline, a huge win for him. And all of that money is just instantly down the drain. However, eOnzErG still has the bottom left base up. He can use the Nidus Canal, connect his main base to that, and easily defend it. So he's still going to be up to 4 base against Skyline's 2. Skyline is not out of the woods yet, even though he's done such a great move.
Yeah. This did revert the supplies though. Skyline is for the first time ahead in supply, but I don't understand why the town player, why eOnzErG rather didn't cancel those Guardians, because the rest did start attacking in advance. Weirdly, Skyline leaves his siege tanks behind, which get easily mopped up by the incoming Zerg forces. I'm not sure if that was a very good idea without any marine support, but why didn't he cancel those Guardians? I don't quite understand.
I have no idea. It's possible that he was looking at the attack on his natural, because there was like Dark Swarms and micro going on there, so maybe he just like forgot about it while he was busy microing or something like that. It's very, very possible. The Guardians don't take that long to morph. So, you know, in the 30-odd seconds that it took him to morph, he just, you know, was too busy doing something else, and it did cost him a huge amount of money there. Meanwhile, we do have that third command center moving out now for Skyline. Crucially, I don't think Skyline has any idea about this bottom left base. There's absolutely no way for him to know about it, but this is so smart for eOnzErG because of Nidus Canals, he can instantly reinforce it. Like, the distance, the ground distance, doesn't mean anything to the Zerg because of Nidus Canals.
Yeah. I mean, Nidus Canals. Yeah, another reason why Zerg just shouldn't be allowed, guys. It shouldn't be allowed. We have a bunch of drones moving through the Nidus Canal now, so the bottom left corner is going to get saturated immediately. Look at that. That's a lot of drones actually moving through. eOnzErG has been droning really heavily. I didn't even really notice that because he's done quite well with
We have an attack at the front. Elegant. There's a Dark Swarm. The vessel. One vessel does go down. The Marines are pulling back. They're going to move back just a touch more. No, looks like they're okay now. Oh, but there's a second swarm. And they got to keep moving back. And this is, oh man, I love these kinds of battles. These running battles between Terran and Zerg, it's so much fun. I mean, basically Terran needs a space to maneuver. He wants to be in the middle of the map. He can't fight under the swarm, so he has to just run around all over the place away from the Dark Swarm. Man, this is what TVZ is all about, Elegant. This is it.
Yeah, this is where it really gets interesting. I mean, we haven't seen this yet in the previous sets. The Marines running by, losing 2 Marines to Lurk. Spies right there. But he's going to get a decent position on the natural, but he's going to get caught in the Dark Swarm. He's going to lose a fair number of Marines in the meantime. The defenders once again going to be able to push these Marines back. And those lings, are they cracked lings yet? I didn't quite get to see that. Oh, and Plague going down as well. Managing to catch the Science Vessel importantly. So one Scourge are going to take that down.
The bottom left is under attack. He's trying to snipe down the Nidus Canal. Is he going to get the Nidus Canal? He gets the Nidus Canal. 3 Lurkers are out, but there's no Defiler here. And with good micro, he'll easily be able to take down all 3 of those Lurkers. I think one of them already just died. There are only 2 Lurkers remaining. Emergency summons on the way, but that Nidus Canal was absolutely crucial for the defense of this base, and it looks like it's going to go down here. Meanwhile, the main army at the front is preventing reinforcements there. It looks like some reinforcements might be coming out from the top left, but I don't think it matters. I'm pretty sure this base is going to go down to this ragtag team of Terran units. Only 1 sunken remaining. An emergency Nidus Canal being built, but that gets targeted down, and this base is definitely going down here. A bunch of Scourge coming out to just, I guess, try and pick off the vessel. Oh, he's going to get both of the vessels, though. He's going to get 2 vessels here for free, which is a big win for him, but I think it's a bigger win for Skyline taking out that base.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, the Science Vessels, that's bad, but it's not so bad. He does have an extra gas, although he's only mining with 1 guy at his 3rd gas, which could leave him a little bit starved for gas when he's making the Science Vessels, but nonetheless managed to get 2 queued up, so no big deal for him, which is a little bit weird given he actually has 2 starports. A bunch of Lings throwing their lives away in the middle of the map, killing 1 Marine in total. That's really not great trading right there for eOnzErG, and he's going to be under a lot of pressure right now. There's a big Terran army just ready to collect in the middle of the map right here, and Skylime is actually really seizing the initiative, and eOnzErG is way on the back foot. I mean, I know Zerg is normally on the back foot at this stage, but this is serious. This is dangerous for eOnzErG at this point. He is defending with so little at the top left-hand corner if Skyline decides to make the attack.
Man, he's like 50 supply behind right now. He's just got to rely on this 1 Defiler and the Lurkers, but with 3 vessels there, I think he can just radiate everything there. And looks like going to take down the Defiler first. Oh, he might go for a big plague. He's going for a plague. Actually, he has no energy. He's just going to swarm. I think he tried to go for a plague there. He was moving forward as if to plague, and then maybe just realized he didn't have actually the energy. Meanwhile, eOnzErG, his macro is just seriously problematic here. Look at how much money he has, even though he's back down to 3 bases. He really needs to just make an Ultralisk Cavern and hit the Yuki a few times to solve this. Okay, he's got the Cavern. Now time to hit that Yuki. Come on, man, find your Yuki. Don't pull a South Park on me. Meanwhile, it looks like a 4th base going up at the bottom left here, where that Zerg base has just died.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit tough for Skzlime once these Ultras all pop out, which I'm sure they will. Why isn't eOnzErG making the Ultras though? He's going to have so many units. He's still making Hydralisks. He's still kind of going for Lurkers. I don't quite know why this is. And this is going to be easily busted up at the top left-hand corner. There is no Defiler, and so this base is going to go down. The natural expansion is going to go down. I'm surprised we haven't seen any lingering go to the 6 o'clock yet, and try to do any kind of damage there. But it looks like the bottom left-hand corner, yes, as you were saying, there is a command center, already done. And it looks like Skzlime's actually going to try and push up into this top left-hand corner main, where there are no Defilers waiting. Once again, there are a bunch of medics in there, making life a little bit difficult, but there are only Lings and a couple of Lurkers waiting. This could be seriously bad for eOnzErG. If he loses his base, he's in so much trouble. Skzlime's going to be able to push all the way in. eOnzErG might lose this top left-hand corner base, and with it, pretty much the hopes of this game, he's going to have a hard time. Meanwhile, though, it looks like he has finally managed to spend all his money, which means there is somewhere on the map a whole bunch of Ultras coming in right now, but he's going to lose his top left-hand corner, so he's going to have one big army left in him, and that's going to be it. This is really, really bad for our Zerg players. Skzlime might have done this. He might have managed the reverse sweep for the first time in the entire tournament.
Oh my god, there's so many drones here. I want to see the Firebats going to town on them. They're just trying to run. He's building an emergency dynasty. He wants to evacuate the drones, but it's going to take so long for that to finish. The Firebats are going in. The drones are in so much trouble. The 3 o'clock base is going down as well. Skzlime multitasking like a boss. The Firebats killing everything. This base at the top left is going down. The drones. Oh, come on, Niners. It has to finish, but it needs to plant the exit. Where's the exit? I can't find the exit. It needs to plant the exit. The drones, they're just hiding. They're like, please, dear God, Firebats, do not find us. For the love of God, stay away. Run away. Oh no, there's a Firebat there. He found him. No, drones. The drones. They're gonna, oh no, the massacre. Oh God, it's a massacre.
Absolutely brutal. That had to happen eventually. The Firebats finally find the drones. The Nidus Canal is going to go down. eOnzErG is in complete disarray. He's going into the front. There's a factory in the front, and this is the Ultralists are going to be able to tank a lot of damage, but they're only on 4 armor. They're not on 5, and they're all going down. They might be able to get up to the 6 o'clock base and start taking that down. The bottom left-hand corner base is crucially mining now, so we can lose that at 6 o'clock, and it's really not too bad for him. And it looks like the natural is going to be held. eOnzErG is streaming more Lings in there, but I don't think they're going to do enough. There are a couple of science specials looking like they're ready to do it in a Razor in eOnzErG's natural, which is pretty much the remainder of his pretty meager economy. But eOnzErG is in so much trouble right now. Skzlime is all over this. I think he might just have done it in the natural. There are more Lings coming in here, though. There might not be enough to hold off. Skzlime needs to take care of that Ultra, and then he can start melting these Lings, but there's not quite enough Marines remaining. That Siege Tank not going to be able to do enough either. These Marines doing their level best, but there are Lings streaming into Skzlime's main now, and he's going to lose control over his barracks, and this could be really, really nasty for him as well. And we could end up in a very strange situation. In the natural expansion, more Lings too. This is getting crazy, Sale.
Oh my god, the natural is lifted. The 3rd base died, actually. He didn't lift it off, even though he could if he wasn't paying attention. He's too busy focused on the main. The Lings in the main looks like he might have barely enough to hold on right now, but it looks like eOnzErG is desperate, determined to fight on in this game. He's down. He's less than half the supply of his opponent. 64 supply against 129. Looks like the small ragtag team from the top left is going to go pick off this 12 o'clock base as well. Lings running everywhere. It looks like some factories started being planted, trying to go for that mech switch here at the bottom left base, but now he can't even afford it because he's lost his natural and his 3rd base as well. I guess eOnzErG saying this game is not over yet, sir, but it looks like, oh man, he's basically not mining. eOnzErG is not mining anymore. He's mined out essentially his main and his natural, and he's got no additional base. His 12 o'clock base is going to go down for sure. I think he's just all in on this attack. He needs to pick off the bottom left, but it looks like everything died as it tried to go up the ramp here. This could be eOnzErG's last hurrah here. He's grouping his drones in the middle. Why are there drones in the middle of the map? I don't know what they're doing there. eOnzErG, he's just going to like distance mine from the middle or something. He doesn't even have money for a hatchery right now. He's got less than 300 minerals. He's distance mining from the center expansion. He does not want to lose this game. He knows if he loses, Skzlime will have pulled off the miracle, the reverse 3-2, and he can't let it happen. Sick medic block at the bottom left.
Oh, eOnzErG is he's kicking himself right now. He knows that this game is no longer his. I think eOnzErG is going to be done. Skzlime, there's nothing he can do. The bottom left-hand corner is absolutely untouchable. The natural is once again reinforced. I think Skzlime has got this. eOnzErG is desperately trying to distance mine, but there's a Marine finding the drone train, and it's going to be able to slowly but surely take them out. And Ultra is dying over on the left-hand side. Well, not quite dying as of yet. It looks like he managed to be able to deal with that small medic Marine group, but Skzlime is mining, whereas eOnzErG, crucially, is really not. We have about to cause some problems. Irradiating individual drones, probably not really the way forward at this stage, but this distance mining is going to be very difficult. There's some Lings and an Ultra in the natural expansion, but they're getting turned away, and it looks like the Terran is once again going to be able to beat back the Zerg force. The Ultra is coming back in for more. He might try and break this, but I don't think he's going to be able to. eOnzErG just throwing away the last of his units. I think this could be the GG moment for him. No, looking like he's actually going to cling on for a little bit longer with 5 Zerglings running around the map and a bunch of drones distance mining in the middle. This looks pretty sad for our Zerg player at this stage, and the mass exodus of overlords heading all over the map. Look at those overlords go.
Oh man, sick overlord timing. They're gonna use like their tentacle attack to save him, but man, look at that vessel cloud. Look at that Marine count. He's trying to get that 3 o'clock base up again, but this is just hopeless. He's at 34 supply against 146. He's gonna lose his last ultra right here, getting completely mauled by the medic Marines.
D-Matrix is cool.
Grass.
GG.
GG. Skzlime takes 3rd place, coming back from the dead, grasping victory from the jaws of defeat with the reverse 3-2 comeback. Skzlime only gets 3rd. He's not even the winner. We still have a finals to go. What the heck?
This is crazy stuff, so but at least this means that it is not going to be a Zerg 1st, 2nd, 3rd place. Skzlime takes the 3rd place in a very impressive final game. It just looked like he kind of figured eOnzErG out as he went along. Games 1 and 2, he was kind of finding his feet, but then he came way back in really strongly. And in that final game, even though he looked a little bit dodgy, he was kind of sacrificing a few siege tanks, but he was able to get right on it. And that break into the top left-hand corner turned everything around.
He came back, man. You see Agent Smith, he shot him. He shot Skzlime, but Skzlime, he got back up. And in game number 5, it's like holds out his hand, all the bullets stop. eOnzErG's freaking out. He's like, he doesn't know what's going on. He's losing all his bases.
His distance mining in the middle is getting crazy. Yeah.
That's exactly what happened here.
Awesome stuff. But if that's the 3rd and 4th place match, imagine how good the final's going to be.
Yeah, guys, that was the first series out of 3 series we have today. And let me tell you, most people were thinking that this would just like, you know, be the series we want to get out of the way, that eOnzErG is going to win it easy. And everyone was, you know, more anticipating the other series. But look at that! Skzlime showed you all who's boss.
Didn't he just? Crazy stuff from him. And now, of course, coming up, we're going to have the final, which is Skzlime versus Michael. And then following that...
Zeke, not Skzlime.
No, that's Skzlime. Zeke versus Michael.
It should be Skzlime, though. You know what? Screw the final. We're seeding Skzlime into the finals now. It's going to be a 3-way free-for-all.
Oh, God.
We need Skzlime in the finals. I'm
who
declaring
needs
that
a
now.
serious Brood War competition when he could just have a 1v1v1 in the final? It's just too cool.
Yeah,
that's going to happen.
We're doing that.
But yeah, finally is going to be, of course, Zeke versus Michael, aka the Cheese King. Both these guys going to be battling it out for not only the prize money, but for then who gets to play Liquid Sea in a show match following on. So you guys, you don't want to tune out because it's only just begun.
Oh man, it is going to be so crazy. And we're going to bring you guys the grand finals after this break. Do not go anywhere.